Hi, I'm Lam Nguyen, and welcome to AYP. Today we're going to show you how to take better landscapes. We're going to walk you through a couple of settings as well as show you a couple of things that you can do with your camera in order to get the best shots you can. So you may not have one of these with you all the time. Perfect for shooting landscapes is usually a tripod if you can pull it off, but just in case you're just walking around with your camera, there are a few things that you can do to make sure that shooting with the aperture that's necessary for a long depth of field, that you can still hold the camera steady with a slower shutter speed. A lot of people make the mistake of holding the camera from up top here, which doesn't give you a very stable shooting platform. What I recommend for anyone who's looking to walk around with their camera is to take your hand and turn it under the camera body so that you can use your elbow to anchor against your body when you're shooting. This will help you to be a lot more stable and will allow you to shoot at shutter speeds that are much slower than you could if you were holding it this way. If you do have a tripod, there are a few things that you need to do to make sure that your shot is what you want it to be. Most modern tripods have a level of some kind so that you can make sure that your horizon line is perfectly straight. But just in case you don't, there's a trick that I used to use with my old tripod using just a set of headphones and the tripod itself. So the trick is to take the headphones that you've got and fold it perfectly in half so that both sides are of equal length. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put this on the tripod itself to see which side might be leaning a little left or a little right. Most landscape shots are about as capturing as much of the environment as you can. So, for our purposes, we want to use an aperture that is as closed down as possible, whether you're shooting on a tripod or whether you're shooting handheld. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that when you're looking at your camera, you've got your aperture setting to the highest number you can get. What you're basically trying to do is you're trying to achieve the deepest depth of field you can. And the way to achieve that is to get the smallest aperture that you can get out of your camera. In this case, it's f/22 for me, which means I'm going to have everything that's close to me in focus as well as everything that's far away. In order to achieve this, what I suggest is picking a point somewhere between where you are as well as somewhere where your infinity point is in order to make sure that you have as deep a depth of field as you can achieve. Given that you'll be shooting with a smaller aperture in order to achieve a deeper depth of field, you'll probably be getting slower shutter speeds, which means the easiest way to achieve the shot without getting any blur or camera shake is to set your camera on a timer and make sure that you give enough time and distance for you to be able to get the shot without having to physically touch your camera. Now, we've all heard as photo students about this rule of thirds, and when you're shooting a landscape with a subject in your foreground, there's no other place where it becomes more apparent that you need to apply that rule. Thank you for joining us here on AYP. We hope that this tutorial helps you to take better landscapes.
Be sure to subscribe to our blog now to stay updated on my show, and we'll give you tips and insight to keep advancing your photography. Also, check out our guests' website for a closer look at their work. Tune in to our next episode of Advancing Your Photography for an inside look at another photographer's world. Until then, this is Marc Silber reminding you to get out and capture your own images of life.